today I thought I'd do a bit of a clip for people that are doing a lot of walking at the minute, hopefully keeping up your nice exercise during the week. So just wanted to go through some leg release and stretching. So what to use at home. Foam roller is ideal for getting into the calves and the legs, as we're going to today. But if you don't have a foam roller at home, feel free to grab a cylindrical hard jar that you can use instead. A tennis ball or something like a tennis ball we're going to use as well. And then just for a little bit of back stretching, a soft ball or a rolled up towel will do just the same. Alright. So if you want to pause this video, go and get your bits and pieces and then come back whenever you're ready. Okay, so we're going to start in standing and we're just going to do a little bit of a loosen up through the legs and through the spine. So we'll start by rolling the shoulders up, back and down, tucking the chin into your chest, rolling down to the knees. From here you're going to bend the knees and arch the back and look up towards the ceiling. Round the spine, tuck the chin into your chest, opening the shoulder blades. Rounding the spine, looking up and arch the spine. We'll do this once more. Arch the back and round. Good. Fold down towards the toes just as your flexibility allows, and we'll hang out here for a minute and we'll encourage just some gentle movement. So maybe bending one knee then the other. I'll turn sideways for a moment, just allowing that gentle stretch. And if you need your fingers onto a block or a chair, it's not a problem. Just allowing that natural opening through the hamstrings, and then we'll encourage a little bit of side to side movement through the torso. If you're comfortable too, you can pop the hands onto the elbows, relaxing the head, and just a gentle movement side to side. Big breath into the tummy and a good strong exhale. From here we'll release the hands, soften the knees, and see if you can curl up through your spine, stacking one vertebra at a time. You can walk your hands up the knees if you need to, but only do it if you need to. Roll the shoulders at the top, and we'll reach the arms up into the air and open to the side and release. Roll the shoulders up, back and down, reach the arms up and release. Good. So from here we're going to come into some calf massage first of all, and then we're going to come back into some stretching. So it's good if the muscles are quite tight, as opposed to stretching them whenever they're all tight. We're going to use a foam roller or a rolling pin or a bottle or anything at home to get a little bit of blood flow to them first of all. So pop your right leg onto the roller. The option here is then to cross the left leg over. That just gives you a little bit more weight. Only for those who are quite athletic, you can lift the hips off the ground here, which isn't necessary. You'll still feel it keeping the hips on the ground. So we'll start working the lower part of the calf muscle, so just above the Achilles tendon. We'll focus there and we'll just bend the knee up and down, trying to keep that bottom foot as relaxed as possible. When the bottom foot is tense, the whole muscle complex is tense, so you're not getting the massage into it. From this knee bend, we're going to stay in the same area, but roll from side to side. And you might feel a few wee bits there that you didn't with the knee bend. Throughout this, you'll always have the option, pause the video, come back to the areas that you need to, that little bit more. So I'll go through it at a relative speed, but feel free to slow it down. We're going to bring that roller up maybe an inch or two and just do the same thing. So bend the knee up and down. Maybe feel a little tension or tender spots there. That's where the muscle fibers are maybe holding together a little bit tighter, and we're asking for them to separate and become nice and juicy again. We'll encourage that side to side movement at that point now. And you tend to learn where you're holding that tension the most. So we'll do one more point on this. So bring it up quite high, just below the knee. We're not coming right to the back of the knee, but just into the top part of that calf muscle. And again, we'll go from side to side. Now, the bit that hurt the most is the bit that we're going to go back to. So find that area, sit onto it for a second, We're going to change it slightly and point and flex the toe. So we're doing something different here. You get layers of fibres of tissue on top of each other, and by keeping the weight down in the roller, we're asking it to start sliding as opposed to it being a wee bit stuck. So point and flex, and then a tiny either rock back and forth if that's what feels most effective, or maybe a wee knee bend up and down, so just right on that point, and breathing into it, trying to keep that bottom foot relaxed. Good. And release. Maybe circle that ankle one way and then the other, and then we'll release and swap sides. So again, the roller starting quite low, just above that Achilles tendon. Cross the ankle over the knee, and we'll go from side to side first. And there'll be parts that don't feel as bad as others. And when you're doing this in your own time, you can focus on those areas that need it the most. It's always worth a little explore to see what's going on that day. It might be different from a few days before. We'll bend the knee up and down now. So this leg is just applying weight and a pressure. The bottom foot is totally relaxed, or as best you can. We'll come up an inch or two. We'll go from side to side. Just checking into the top half. You don't really want to be sitting with the ears up around your shoulders, or shoulders up around your ears. So try and stay open through your chest. And you can be on your elbows to do this if you prefer, if the wrists don't like, or you can be sitting with your back against a wall or against your sofa, just if the arms don't like this position. So side to side, bending, exploring those tight bits of the muscles. I had a bit of a run this morning and I can feel this working at releasing the tight spots. I'll come up again, rolling from side to side. And remember, we're going to go back to that area that needs you the most, and it might be a different place than on the other leg, so I can feel this bit on me at the minute. And then up and down. Oh yes. So you're breathing into it as well, and again keeping that bottom foot relaxed. And then I'm just going to go a little bit lower to my sweet spot on that side, and we'll start by keeping the top leg on but pointing and flexing the bottom foot. We're doing a little bit of that fascial glide at that point. And then just a tiny movement, so slower or less movement than you did before, whether it's knee bends or, yeah, for me that's that small side to side movement I can feel the most there. Good. Last breath onto it. And release, and just circle the ankle one way and then the other. So it's challenging enough work, that, but it's really, really worthwhile doing. So we'll take that and place it to the side for now, and we're going to bring in a tennis ball. So if you don't mind coming up to standing, you can use your roller to hold on to, or the wall. And we're just using the tennis ball underneath the sole of your foot. You can use a harder ball if you prefer. It's just to get a little bit of massage to the fascia and the underside of that foot. It can be really nice to do. And for anyone that has one of the little white Caspers from the clinic, you know, you do use that instead of the tennis ball. It's even better. So trying to get to the side of the foot, the arch of the foot, and then right up to the base of the toes, and then maybe a little onto the heel. Good. And we'll swap sides. And again, you can take this in your own time. You can pause the video or you can come back to it. And you're looking for those little spots, especially if you're out walking more. And there's a change in footwear happening shortly now with the change in the weather. So if you've been going from winter boots to lighter, more flimsy shoes, people do tend to notice a difference in their feet. So keeping the sole of the feet nice and released is good to do. And be aware that if you can take your shoes and bend them in half really easily, they're not going to be providing any support for your feet. So have a look at the summer wardrobe of shoes and find ones that are sturdy, especially if you're going out walking. And flip-flops and slippers don't have much support, so if this is really sore, no, you probably need to put your shoes on during the day. Good. So we'll place that ball to the side now, and we're going to come in just to some gentle calf stretching. So we're going to bring the right leg behind us. we're going to keep the left knee bent. A good bend in the knee. What we don't want, if I turn sideways to you, so we want the knee behind the toes. So if you're here, it's going to be really awkward. So keep the knee back, and we're going to try and straighten that back leg, and you're driving the heel down towards the ground. So our weight is forward, the chest is maybe over the knee, and you're lengthening through that back heel and breathing into that stretch. We're going to angle the foot slightly now, so turn the toes out the way, same stretch, maybe you'll have a little more range, and you might feel that stretch slightly more to the inside of the calf muscle. And then release and bring the feet in the way. I'm just going to turn that music off, it's gone a bit strange. So we're still holding that nice stretch, driving that heel down. And then we'll release from here. Step that foot in just a little. We're going to bend both knees now, so it's nearly like you're sitting back. And people sometimes feel a stretch down in the soleus, the lower of our calf muscles here. So it's a bit of a sitting stretch. You might feel that working into the lower calf. And we'll just have a couple of breaths there. And we'll release and swap sides. So the leg is behind you, right leg is bent, our chest is over the knee, you're driving that left heel back into the ground, straight knee if you can, and breathing. So since we've used our foam roller first, the fibres have had a good bit of blood flow, so you get more of an effective stretch after the roller than you do if you're doing it just cold. We'll turn the toes out the way and lean forward maybe a little bit more into that calf stretch. Breathing into the lower tummy. And then we'll turn the foot the other way. So turn the heel out the way and the toes in. And again, that might just change your stretch a little. Then we'll release from here. Bring that foot slightly further in. Now we're bending the back knee as well as the front knee, driving the heel down again, trying to get that lower soleus stretch. Good, and release. Good work. So we're going to change it now. We'll do a little bit of work under the soles of the feet. So come just onto your mat, bend down, pop the hands just lightly in front. And we're going to drop the knees down to the mat, bring the hands slightly forward. The toes are tucked underneath, and we're going to rock the knees back towards our chest and down. So if I turn sideways for you, you can see my toes are tucked underneath, and as my knees drop down, they're just getting a nice stretch through the fascia, through the sole of the feet and through the toes. If you've any biomechanical issues going on and your feet don't like this, just leave this one out, don't worry. Some people aren't too fond of it. Now we're going to walk our hands back towards our feet. We're going to drop the heels down and we're going to lengthen the hips up into the air, into that standing forward fold. And then bend the knees and come down and shoot the hips up. So we're stretching through the back body, we're stretching through the legs and a little bit through the spine. If you can't get your knees totally straight here, you can put a block underneath your fingers to help, or you just stretch where you can. And if the knees don't let you to get all the way down either, that's not a problem. You do as you can, but it is good to stretch them and ask them to bend as you can and open. Good. From here, keep the hips up into the air. We're going to soften through the knees and roll up through the spine. Roll the shoulders back, pop the hands in the hips and lean backwards as you can. And come back to centre. Okay, we're going to bring our feet a wee bit wider on our mat